Okay, hi, this is Paul again. I'm making a video, Bible lesson video, called God is no respecter of persons. I'm going to, for the sake of time, I'm just going to get right to it. So if we go to Acts, I invite you to go to Acts 10, chapter 10, verse 34. Then Peter opened his mouth and said, "Of a truth I perceive that God is no respecter of persons." Okay, when I first read that, and for me, respect is huge, especially respecting other people and being respected. I was like, wow, God is no respecter of people. So I kind of just thought about it quite a bit, so I decided to make a lesson on it, okay? So let's take a look here. I have a couple references here, Galatians 2:6 and 1 Peter 1:17, but I'm going to go with some other ones here first. I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 10:17-19. So Deuteronomy 10:17-19. So there are. Ten, 17, 19. For the Lord your God is a God of gods, Lord of lords, a great God, a mighty and terrible, and meaning that when he does act towards holding people accountable, it's terrible. Which regard not persons, nor take it reward. Which regard it not persons, nor take it reward. So, if you are the creator of the entire universe and this earth, what can you actually offer someone like that who has everything, created everything, right? So he's not going to regard a person, an individual, and for some kind of reward, right? So that's one clue right there. That's the reason, is basically respect in this case. What I'm going to invite you to think of before we finish this lesson is that it means he is not biased. Now, we're also going to visit some areas where people might say, well, wait a minute here, I think he is because of this or that or that, and I'm going to show you clearly that that's still the case where God is not biased. Okay? Alright. Let's go on to the next one. So we came from Acts 10:34, and we went here to Deuteronomy 10:17. Now we're going to go to Romans 2:11. Romans 2:11. Afterwards we'll talk about each of these, but we're just going to go and look at what the Bible says first. Romans 2:11. So here we go. Romans 2:11. For there is no respect of persons with God. So it's another, just again, there's the same phrase, and it's just another what you call witness, evidence-based reading. Basically, what supporting pieces of verses do you have to back this up? There's no respect of persons with God. Okay, this came from Deuteronomy 10:17, and it went to Romans 2:11. Now we're going to go to, actually let's back it up here. I got a note here that I wrote for myself. Let's back it up, and let's read 2:9 and 2:10. Tribulation and anguish upon every soul. Okay, so they're talking about for those people who feel that they're going to be raptured out of here, right? Tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doth evil, of the Jew first, and also of the Gentile. So here is the reason I selected this, is because someone say, well, he is biased because he has a preference of his people. Well, we're going to find out if that's 100% true, or how is it. So stick with me here. First of all, in this context, he's talking about tribulation and anguish. What about it? It's going to be upon every soul that what? That doth evil. So if you do evil, this is what's coming your way. It doesn't matter who you are. That's what it's saying. But it does say Jew first and also the Gentile. Then it says here, but glory, honor, and peace to every man. To Jew, to every man. that work it good. And then the same thing, also to the Jew and also to the Gentile. So you're going to find out in this reading is basically because of a promise that God had made early on, and because who knew of God first, who knew of His word first. So basically it has something to do with that, okay? So you know that He's going to apply punishment and rewards equally. First, kind of think of it, the first one to hear of God's word, right? The oracles of God. All right, so this right here. Now we're going to go. Now again, we came from Deuteronomy 10:17. This was Romans 2:9 through 11. Now we're going to go to Ephesians 6:9. Ephesians 6:9. And here we go. Ephesians 6:9. Chapters over. So 6:9, 1, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, 6:9. And let's see if you can see this here. And ye masters, do the same things unto them, forbearing, threatening. I hope you can see this. I'm going to try to get over here so you can see a little bit better. Give me a second here. And I'm going to get zoom later on and see if I can actually get better at this. Here it is. So again, we are in Ephesians 6, chapter 6, verse 9. And ye masters, so this is like people in charge, supervisors, right? Do the same things unto them, forbearing, threatening, knowing that your master also is in heaven. Neither is there any respect of persons with Him. To remind you, God is not biased towards people. So the warning here is, remember, punishments and rewards are equally applied. It doesn't matter who you are. There's no master there. There's no elite. There's no rich person. Basically, it's going to be equal treatment, so keep that in mind. All right. Now, from here, this is Ephesians 6:9. We're going to Colossians 3:2-5. Next chapter over, 3:2-5. So, but he that worketh wrong shall receive for the wrong which he had done, and there is no respect of persons. No exceptions. Basically, the rule is clear. You do wrong, who? He that worketh wrong. He that does wrong. He that does wrong. What about him? They should receive for the wrong. You're going to be held accountable. And there is no respect of persons. So don't think, oh, I donated $1 million to the church, so yeah, I'm going to get a break. No breaks. Basically, with God is just simple. This is the rule. You broke it. Boom. All right? Ask for forgiveness. That's the only way you can do it through Jesus Christ, but here we are. So, anyways, we're here in chapter 3:25 of Colossians. Now we're going to go, I invite you to go to 1 Peter 1:17. 1 Peter 1:17 is more towards Revelation, towards the end of the book. And 1 Peter 1:17. Here we are, 1, 7, and 17. And if ye call on the Father, so here's telling you, if you call on the Father, who without respect of persons judge it according to every man's work, pass the time of your sojourning here in fear. So you're kind of like, what they're telling you is a couple things. You're here, think of it as a trip that's temporary. And why in fear? That means that in fear that you could make a mistake. Right? And who does it say here? Who without respect of persons judge it. So you're not, again, that's just, it's everywhere in the Bible. That's something, if it's everywhere in the Bible, you should know. It doesn't matter who you are and how much. You could save 1 million people. But you have to make sure you keep in mind that judgment is according to your work and your faith. Not just faith, not just work. Both of them. Okay? So that was 1 Peter. Now, I was going to go and go over my notes over this. Actually, I'm going to do it real quick here. So let's do that. Let's go back to the beginning where we had, if we went to Acts, and I'm just going to, instead of putting my Bible here, I'm going to put my notes here. So if we look here, you can take a screenshot, if you want to, and just do your own reading here. Acts 10:34-35. That's where we started. Now, my notes for Deuteronomy after that was a mighty and great God can't be paid off. All right? That was from Deuteronomy 10:17. Man, I can't wait until I get Zoom in the future, because then I can actually show you the screen here. But anyways, what else do we have from Deuteronomy 10:17? He looks out for the weak and will eventually judge those who oppress others. We have, that's worthy of going to it. Let's go to Deuteronomy 10:17 and see where I got that opinion from. So if we go to 10:17. Yes, look here. He doth execute judgment of the fatherless. That means, right? Orphans. And widow. And loveth the stranger. What does that mean? I love strangers? No, that means immigrants. So he, in giving him food and raiment. So he's looking out for those immigrants, because God knows those people are looking for our better place. Now, we do have also with people traveling, of course, you can always focus on the negative. There is criminals and so on. But for the most part, the stranger is here to work and feed their family. And God needs you to respect it. It's throughout the entire Bible, you'll see that. You have to have a love and kindness towards strangers. Right here. It says it right here. Deuteronomy 10:18. 19, it says, love ye therefore the stranger. Very clearly. Look at that. Love ye therefore the stranger. For ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. So you weren't even citizens there. You were there, and they were put to work as labor. Okay, so that right there, that's clearly that. Okay, so let's go back to my notes. And then it says, he looks out for the weak and will eventually judge those who oppress others. Payback is coming. If it's not in this world, the next one. Show love to the stranger or people of other nations. He expects you to also love the stranger. Let's go to Romans 2:11. See what it says. Context centers on Jew versus Gentile. Tribulation and anguish to the Jew first, and also Gentiles. The same goes for reward. Yeah, we talked about that. Ephesians 6:9. What do I have for notes here? Those under you is those. Be kind and just to those under you, as God is no respecter of persons. Let's go to Colossians 3:25. God holds all accountable with no respect, no bias. That's what I put here. For Peter 1:17, I got carried away writing here. But if you are looking unto our Father for your salvation, understand that without Christ in you there is no salvation, and therefore fear God's coming, as without Christ there is no salvation, irregardless of nation or status. Now, I decide, if you want to stick around for this next part of the lesson, I'm going to create another video. It's called God's Chosen. And why God's Chosen? Because I'm anticipating someone saying, well, God is biased because he has his special people. But you're going to find out a little bit more about that, and you're going to see how consistent God is. So that will be in the next video, just to keep it short. I'm going to make that one here coming after this one here. Okay? So if you want to watch that, that's the next one. And it talks about if God has, kind of like a family, does he have favorites? Well, we're going to discuss that. Okay, with that, this is me signing out. Hopefully you learned something from this. And goodbye until next video.